none of us really know. None of us really know.
I know.
No, I know. Perfect timing, Keith.
Keith, what's up?
Your favorite movie of all time. F9.
Oh, good.
How is there any other choice than Remember the Titans being number one?
I'm curious.
I'm spoiling mine, but
Well, let's see. Here we go. Yeah, that's a good
I'm
question,
not even
Brian.
done talking.
you shouldn't be talking at this point.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Apocaflix Movies, Apocaflix Now, the movie watching hangout show. And I am your host this week, Gio Ramos, joined by Mr. Brian Avalosino. Jake Berlin has some important matters to take care of, so he will not be joining us tonight. Keith Barnes should be on a little bit later, as usual. Brian, how's it going, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Just trying to survive this heat, even though it's not even that bad today. Because I'm going back to Sacramento tomorrow. So, yeah. I go from air conditioning to sweltering death heat. But yeah.
Man. Now you gotta pay for your own AC air conditioning.
I know. That's not what I'm looking forward to. But oh well. But yeah, I'm just chilling. Haven't really been lazy. Summer vacation, so why do anything important? At least for me. Sorry, I know you work.
It's fine. You know, this vacation is a time for you to unwind, unplug, and just have a little bit more time to yourself, if anything.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, just chilling.
Did you get to watch anything? Did you get to watch anything between episodes other than the Kenobi?
Other than Kenobi and Miss Marvel, not too much. I caught up on Stranger Things, so I'm ready for that next episode, or whatever, damn near movie. And then, yeah, movie-wise, the only thing I saw was The Last City because my mom wanted to watch it, which, yeah, not one of the best movies. So yeah, but yeah. Oh yes, Star Geo. Gio and I are very contested with our Warriors Celtics right now.
Yeah, if you're wondering how I'm doing, my Boston Celtics are one game away from elimination, which
I think you'll get the next one. Game 7 is where it's going to come down.
I think the NBA is probably going to have something to say about extending it to a Game 7. But on that note, let's bring in Mr. Keith Barnes, who's in the background here. Earlier than expected. Keith, what's going on?
The series, I'm afraid, is over.
Don't put that curse out there.
Oh well, listen. I won't be. They're going to be. It's going to be a tough win for Golden State in Boston to win a Game 6. But I mean, that's a tall task to try to win 2 in a row to win this thing. I mean, the Warriors have the advantage, obviously, and the experience. So, and it just even if they lose, they know they got Game 7 at home in their back pocket. So, Celtics are not playing well.
We had our window. God, I wish this were Bartley and Barnes, man. I could go off right now, but this is a movie hangout show. And Brian, Andy here. Watch Last Samurai yet, Brian?
I have not.
No, don't watch it yet. Someone's going to challenge you to that.
I figured. So I didn't watch any of those movies because I had a feeling I was just going to get bombarded by some people. Maybe.
All of those are going to be your next 5.
Yeah. So I kind of just left it open. I'll say that. But yeah.
If I may, let me just John Booz, Star Drew, RD Films. Good evening. Hello. Everyone's saying
hello,
Keith.
Everyone.
How are you doing?
Doing good. I got off a little bit earlier than expected, so I raced home, and here I am at the beginning of the show, which is a rarity. So
Fantastic.
Yeah, and it's a great opportunity to bring up our weekly challenge that we do here on now called the Movie Watching Challenge. And
crap.
it's
Wait, where's the
perfect
little
timing
stinger? Oh, here it is.
because,
Boo-boo.
damn it. Anyways,
Go ahead.
Keith was able to watch a documentary that I challenged him on, Chris Claremont's X-Men. And Keith is going to be having a review out later this week, a separate video. But Keith, give us a little bit of taste. Give us your reaction to the documentary.
Well, actually, I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance to do that. So I'm gonna review it now.
Okay.
Am I throwing in a wrench
for
in
it.
the evil plans? I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah. It's a very good documentary. I didn't know all this. A lot of this stuff I knew about Chris Claremont and his contributions to Marvel Comics, and of course his contribution to the X-Men. I actually did not. I may have heard, but didn't remember. I don't know, but he fleshed out a lot of the characters. He fleshed out and gave a lot of depth and backstory to like Magneto, which was the most interesting thing to me because that's probably my favorite Marvel character, easily top 2 or 3 at worst. But so I love that part of it, and gave a lot of the backstory to Wolverine, or created Wolverine rather, and really he made the X-Men what they became over time, all the way through to the 90s and even into the movies. And it was just a fascinating story, and the way he and oh my gosh, I forgot the names. Hold on, see down. They just had a little team of him and my very slow phone is sorry. Well, anyway, team they had together. They said they had a real close knit group of writers and artists.
Writers, artists,
that were coming up with all the stories, and it was just really. They came up with. They created Days of Future Past, created that storyline. What I didn't know was that the Phoenix Saga, the Dark Phoenix Saga. He was behind that. I didn't know he created that story, which is awesome. Yeah, which was a first of that time. His idea was, we've seen like villains become good, but we've never seen a good character become a villain. And so, it created the whole Dark Phoenix story. Was obviously the Phoenix Force taking over Jean Grey, and we've seen different iterations of that story, and some of them it's pretty brutal. And it's a heavy story, but that's the biggest thing about the X-Men is the depth to all these characters, and he was a massive part of that. And even into when you get near to the end of the documentary, they talk about the movies. Like they just had all these different scripts that they were sending to him, and none of them were any good. And he just wrote a note that was like, "Hey, this story isn't about superheroes and villains. It's about acceptance. Race. It's about civil rights. It's about people being different and how does the world deal with that." And that eventually he got a note back from someone at Fox that said thank you, and from Bryan Singer, like thank you, like we actually have something to build on. And so that eventually became what the X-Men movies became, especially that first one, those first 2 anyway. And so it was just really I really enjoyed it. This was really, really good. Just a little over an hour. I hadn't heard of it at all. It was fascinating. It's just like his contribution. It's massive. It's a huge, huge thing. It had a difficult departure from Marvel Comics, which I'd heard about, but didn't know the depth of it. But corporate. It's like a lot of things. Creativity versus the money people or the corporate agenda. I guess they both clashed, and he wound up having to walk away from the situation. So there's a couple people. There was a lot of going back and forth between Marvel and DC, but so people went over to DC. He moved on to do other things, but so he had a bad breakup. Apparently, I know some of the people didn't really get along with Rob Liefeld. They started creating the newer characters like Deadpool and like Cable, and some of those other characters like didn't really mesh with what he wanted to do, and he left. But it was really good. It was a really good documentary. I highly recommend it if anybody hasn't watched it.
Cool beans.
And you guys can watch Chris Claremont's X-Men on Prime Video. That was Keith's review. And now we're going to go to the next part of the challenge. Keith, why don't you reveal to the viewers and to everyone who you have challenged for this upcoming week.
Yes, sir. So as anyone not familiar, we extend our challenge to the next person. I've chosen to challenge our good buddy Jake Berlin. About a month or two ago, we talked about Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis had the news come out that he was stepping down from acting. And so he revealed in that episode that he had not seen this movie. Gio and I were very surprised because this is, I think, a Jake Berlin. This movie's right up his alley. And so I challenged him to watch The Last Boy Scout. There you go. Yes. Bruce Willis, Damon Wayans, very early, very young Halle Berry in this movie. It's a Tony Scott film. I think he will like it. So make sure you tune in and see what he thinks of that next week. So yeah, The Last Boy Scout.
Cool. Sweet. I've never
I saw that movie right around the time of the news breaking, and we were talking about Bruce Willis. I think he's really going to enjoy that movie. I was surprised by how much I enjoyed it. You know, the chemistry between Wayans and Willis in that movie. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We do have a quick comment here from Gordon Post. I like the version of Dark Phoenix Saga from the animated series. Oh yeah,
agreed.
Man,
that's very good.
That whole saga really stuck with me as a kid. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Come on now, she's gonna go back and turn good, right? Like I was just love the X-Men of the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So there it is, the movie watching challenge segment, and now we're gonna continue to our next topic here, and we're going to talk about a franchise that might be on the rise after a couple of bad movies, subjectively speaking. We are going to talk about the Predator prequel coming to Hulu titled Prey.
Yeah.
Directed by, Dan Trachtenberg of 10 Cloverfield Lane. I got a chance to watch this trailer. Brian, Keith, hopefully you guys have, and let's spend the next 10 minutes or so talking about this trailer and this direction that the franchise is going. Now, I haven't seen what was the most recent one called? Predator?
The Predator?
The Predator, I believe.
The Predator. Directed by Shane Black. Written and directed, I believe, by Shane Black. Had an ensemble. Trevante Rhodes, Olivia Munn.
Peel.
Key. Which one?
Key or Peel?
It was,
Michael Key. I don't know how to. What's
Key? I think it's Key. Keegan Michael
Key. Key. That is, yes.
Peel.
Yeah. I was starting from the middle name.
Fresh off of Logan. What's his name? Damn it. The guy the villain. Man.
Right. Yeah.
What's his?
Shoot.
Damn
my gosh. He's in Narcos. Season
Boyd
1.
Brooks. No, Boyd Holbrook. Yeah. Sorry. Forgive me, guys. So what do we think of Prey, the trailer? Are we interested?
I am I don't know what to be. I have never seen any of these movies.
Really?
Predator or Alien. Oh no, I saw the first.
Dude.
I saw the first Alien, and that's about it. So
what?
Yeah. So I don't have any stock in this world. Although this trailer looks freaking dope. Like I kind of dig it. Like it seemed very gritty and like I don't know. I loved the way it looked. It was like very I don't know. It almost looks like a video game, but like better. But yeah, my interest is highly piqued for an area that I don't usually find myself wandering in.
Wow.
I'll say that.
No, gotcha. And you know what? The fact that this trailer even reached out to you, having little to no context about,
I literally looked up afterwards. Is this is Prey about Predator?
Predator.
I was like,
yeah.
I didn't show his face or anything flat out. So I was like, I think that the thing that gave me the 3 dots, that was kind of the clue for me that I was like, I know that from something. It's like an alien or something. And then I looked it up and I was like, oh, okay.
Man. All right, Keith, we have to go about this discussion like walking on eggshells here because I don't want to spoil anything for Brian. Because the first Predator movie and even the second one is worth the experience without having any spoilers ahead of time. So I will say for myself, this took me back to
Bye.
Hi, Brian's mom.
This took me back to a pitch that Max Landis made. It was either on Screen Junkies Movie Fights or the old school Schmozno show.
I think I know what you're talking about.
He made a pitch about what if Predator was back during, like before, like centuries ago, where, he was, on native land and, fighting.
Well, never mind.
Go ahead.
I don't want to spoil. You just but
you're fine. I'll kind of tune it out.
Well, sorry. One of the movies does reveal that they've been around for they've been coming to Earth for a long time.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's not.
It's a cool ending. That's why I don't want to spoil it. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I'll probably forget. So you're fair.
So yeah, I'm happy that they went with this direction because I was always intrigued by that pitch. I mean, any pitch that Max Landis makes, if I were a studio executive, I'd be like, make that movie just because of his energy. But with this one, I found it to be very suspenseful. Having seen the good and bad of the movies that Predator has been featured in, minus the Predator, the most recent one. I mean, I've seen enough clips online to know what kind of movie it is, but I thought it was the right move to make. I love that it's on Hulu. Talking about the trailer itself, if I would imagine, like Brian, you didn't know what this young hunter suddenly became afraid of. I mean,
I thought it was like a follow-up movie to Revenant.
Yeah, it does
and
look like
people in the comments were saying like it's nice to see the bear from the Revenant get more roles and opportunities.
I literally, when I was watching this, I was like, oh, they made another Revenant movie. And I was like, wait a minute.
Man. Jeez. Yeah. I mean, what happens to the bear? Like, I mean, like the bear immediately gets killed, but you don't really see like the blood or anything. But then the bear is dragged.
Well, it looks like it's chasing her, but then you feel like, oh, it's running away from something.
Oh, did you get that from the trailer?
That's what I thought. I thought, oh, it's that's what it seemed like to me. I thought, okay, it looks like
all I could worry about was what happened to the dog. I was like, please let the dog get out of there.
The dog's always gonna. The dog will be fine. They don't.
The dog's gonna. Yeah. Even though if. Never mind. No. I was gonna like. Anyways, no, like I said, I am very interested in the direction. I can't wait to watch this. Like I said, the fact that it's going on Hulu is big time here, and to piggyback off of another comment I saw on the video, how interesting would it be for this franchise to all of a sudden find new life on streaming where you see Predator through these different ages,
Yeah.
and him having to, fight, can you imagine like a Predator back around the time of, the Great War or,
Right.
something like that? I think it would be pretty sweet if they're able to really make this one a hit. I think they got something special on there. But Keith, go ahead, man. What did you think?
This looks awesome. I'm somebody. I don't. I don't think it's still on our channel. But if you can check for you guys watching, check and see if our old reviews are on there. Jake and I reviewed the Shane. I think maybe it's called Predator. I can't remember. The Predator. No, the one with Topher Grace is called Predators. And I think
the last one was the Predator.
The Predator. Yeah. It was Topher Grace and I think Adrian Brody were in that one called Predators. That was actually good. But yeah, the last one, the Shane Black one, Jake and I reviewed it. It's bad. Let's just say that. It's not a good movie at all in any way, shape, or form. I think it was my worst movie that year. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. Yeah, that would be cool. That'd be cool. But yeah, I love the Native American.
The Last Samurai versus Predator.
There is a cool. Listen, there's a cool Batman versus Predator comic. It's actually really good. It's very good. You guys should check it out.
Do you know the Power Rangers are fighting Godzilla right now?
What? Really?
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
So yeah.
Well, yeah. You got to check out that Batman versus Predator. I think there's like 3 of them, but the first one's awesome. No, Sean. First of all, I said that already. Two, Brian said he hadn't seen it.
I'm not looking. I'm not. I won't. I'll ignore it.
That's why I didn't say it.
I'm not looking.
That's what I was alluding to. But Sean Wingley just said.
I haven't seen it. I'll just keep looking at you, Keith.
Yes. So, but anyway. So, but yeah, I love the Native American. I don't know. 19th century setting, 19th century setting. And yeah, it makes total sense. The Predators, one of the dumb things, I am going to spoil a thing about the last movie. That's it's stupid. It's dumb. It's one of the dumbest things ever.
Like last meaning the Predator?
The Predator, yeah, the Shane Black one.
I don't care.
It's a dumb ending where it gets revealed that it's okay, Sean. They have I guess they've been creating a suit to fight the Predators. It's so dumb, but because the whole thing about Predator is like they're pretty. If you see the first one, they're pretty easy to. They're susceptible to primitive weapons. Like you don't need technology to beat them. You just outsmart.
That was one thing that I was kind of like. They're shooting wooden bow and arrows,
right,
at an alien that I would assume would wreck them.
Sure. Well, so in that sense, I would recommend before you watch this, Brian, at least watch the first Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
Yeah, like really, because you'll see what I'm talking about. And so, honestly, a lot of them get defeated by
stupid stuff,
rocks and boulders and trees and
that's
simple
fair.
stuff. Let's just put it that. I'll just leave it that way.
Okay.
So in that sense, this makes total sense because that's what they're fighting with is the environment, and so you just kind of have to, if you can stay alive long enough, not get impaled or get your limbs ripped off. You just gotta outsmart them somehow, or figure out a way to trap them or whatever. You just gotta outsmart them. Basically, so
that's fair.
It does in that sense. I can't wait to see how they do that in this movie. I think it looks awesome, and I love that it's on Hulu. Where Gio was making a good point about it's probably the right place for this because I know at the end of when Jake and I reviewed the last one, I think it was 2018 or the Predator. I was just like, it's time to kill this franchise. Like this, Aliens, probably the Jurassic Park / World Series. It's time. There's a bunch of these franchises that probably they need to just stop making these movies because they've only gotten worse over time. But this one, the new setting, and obviously putting it on streaming, I think it's a good idea. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man.
I feel like. Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't there or isn't there a plan to do like an Aliens TV show too?
Oh, really?
I thought there was. I could be
Huh.
completely wrong. I feel like I remember at some point that there was talk of an Aliens TV show coming,
Well,
and it was going to be on FX, if I'm correct.
oh, okay, yeah. It was, yeah, that was a Fox property, I think. So,
So I could be completely wrong.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I know I haven't seen Jurassic World yet. Have you seen it yet?
No,
Yeah.
I haven't. No.
And so like I'm with you on like certain things need to like take a rest
Yeah.
for a while. I know that people have for a while. Okay, thank you, Karen. I knew there was something coming
Oh,
with
okay.
Alien. It
Hi,
there was
Rachel.
something for FX. Hi, Rachel. Been forever.
Good evening.
It feels like.
I didn't hear before Rachel. That's crazy. What's going
Yeah.
on? I got her.
That's a
before.
first. But yeah, no. So I'm curious. As someone that is coming, I mean, you guys have seen it and are like at the point where it's like, okay, like if this isn't good, like you need to give it a rest. Whereas it's funny because I'm coming from someone that hasn't seen anything, and I'm like, oh, this actually looks pretty good. So
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how that
Right.
works into things. So yeah.
Well, yeah, like I said, I would honestly, you 100% watch the first one before you go into this.
I'm pretty sure it's on my 100 movies to watch list. So
Okay. Yeah.
Scratch that.
I might just redo the movie watching challenge. We're gonna have you watching franchises, Brian. We're gonna watch Predator 1 and 2.
You haven't seen this yet?
Die Hard 1, 2, 3, 4.
I've seen Die Hard 1.
All right, so 2, 3, 4. You can skip 5.
You're good. Die Hard 1.
Stop there.
Actually, I hadn't seen Predator 2 probably 25 years at least, and I watched it. Miss Sophia and I watched it when we were down at the Ronald McDonald House.
Yeah,
it's all right. Yeah, I hadn't seen it in a long time. It's still pretty good.
Thank you, Karen. 2023.
Prequel.
Yeah,
Oh,
Keith. Actually, I remember people saying it. Actually, the plot sounds pretty decent. We'll talk about it after.
Yeah, we'll have to. All right, I'll look into it. Yeah,
Alien prequel. Wasn't that Prometheus?
Prometheus. That's why I went.
It's on Earth. I remember saying something about hearing about it being with Earth. Anyways, whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, Prey. Interesting.
Aliens
Well,
was another one.
Those are our thoughts on Prey. Again, directed by Dan Trachtenberg from 10 Cloverfield Lane. So that's
I like that.
Plus.
Yeah.
Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and we love the conversations. Now we're going to move on to another exciting project from a different streaming service. Hence, we are in the streaming wars. The Gray Man just released probably their final trailer, directed by the Russo brothers, the next big action movie with Ryan Gosling, Chris Evans, and Anya de Armas. This is their first directorial effort since Endgame. Correct me if I'm wrong, right?
I believe so.
They had produced some things. No, they did Cherry. I stand.
Oh God, yeah.
Corrected by myself.
Oh, they directed that.
Yeah,
the Russos.
He's right.
Okay, so yeah, let's get into the conversation of the Gray Man. So, does it look like everything we expect from a Russo brothers movie to be? Who wants to start this off?
Well, real quick, did they direct that Chadwick Boseman movie where he was
21 Bridges?
Yeah.
Weren't they? I don't know if they directed
I don't know. Yeah. They didn't direct that one. No, they might have been producers on it, but
they were producers of 21 Bridges. I have his whole filmography right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gio, you are right. The last directed was Cherry,
which I haven't seen.
Yeah,
Cherry. Well, I've seen some things in Cherry. But has anybody seen Cherry?
No.
Was that Apple?
No.
Is that on Apple?
Yeah, that was Apple TV Plus.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we know who the Russo brothers can be, with obviously Infinity War, Endgame, The Winter Soldier. They've had their hands in Netflix's Extraction, which was enjoyed, loved by many. But how'd you guys feel about this trailer? It's really Ryan Gosling versus Chris Evans,
Right.
and just the
Yes.
two of them eating
Yes.
up every scene. Brian, you're saying yes.
With Anna de Armas? Are you
With
kidding
Andy
me?
Damos, yes.
It was basically like, let's get all the hottest people we could find and make them fight each other.
Well,
Okay.
I'm a little hesitant because we just did this with the Rock and Ryan Reynolds and Wonder Woman.
Oh, Red Notice.
Yeah, it's okay.
I never watched that.
Did you watch? Did you guys watch that? Brian, you didn't watch it. Did you watch that, Gio?
No, I
It
haven't
didn't-
seen it yet. I
didn't,
will.
like-
You just reminded me. 'Cause-
It's not terrible, but I was a little underwhelmed. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm all.
but
over
you're
that.
excited for this one, right?
Oh, this looks cool. Looks very cool. You got Chris Evans with the buzz cut and the mustache. Yeah, Anna de Armas and Ryan Gosling. What's the last? I've seen him in a while. What's the last thing he was in? I don't think I've seen
I
him.
can look for you. Let's see.
Yeah, maybe it's just me. I don't know. It seems like he hasn't been in anything.
The
The
last
movie that comes to
thing
mind is
was
La La
First
Land.
Man in 2018.
Wow. Yeah. 2018. Gee, that's crazy.
That was the last movie he did. He did a television something, My Favorite Shapes, in 2019, but has not done a single thing since then.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. As soon as I saw him, I went, "Huh, Ryan Gosling. Where's he been?" I just felt like I hadn't seen him in a while. So. Let's jumping right into the action thing. Like,
Yeah.
I think it was cool.
So, in this trailer, it's Ryan Gosling who's the Gray Man, right? He's the one
Yes.
sent in to whenever something needs to be handled, a difficult mission, deadly assassin or whatnot. He's the guy who goes in there. And this trailer, from a visual standpoint, I thought was very effective in showing clearly Chris Evans is the antagonist of it, right? He's sitting in the dark, very little light, talking and looking menacing and whatnot. I am excited to see that part of Chris Evans. I mean, he's largely known as the hero, Captain America, and soon Lightyear coming out this month or next month?
This week. No,
this week.
This week.
This
Okay,
week. Yeah.
Oh man,
Both
my
these
butt will be firmly planted in a seat Thursday.
yeah.
These are both.
So I'm
this week,
excited
right?
for this. In fact, has Chris Evans ever played a villain?
Oh my gosh, I was just about to say, he almost exclusively played villains in a lot of, not exclusively, but he played a lot of jerks. In
I mean, you could
he's more
say
like
he was a villain in Knives Out, I guess.
Knives
Yeah.
Out.
Knives
Scott
Out.
Pilgrim. Scott
that-
Pilgrim.
Oh my
Intro.
God, yeah.
Absolutely a villain.
Yeah, Scott Pilgrim.
Oh,
He comes out of the trailer and the Universal intro
Yes.
logo is playing.
yes.
Geez,
He's good at playing a jerk.
Yeah, and you know what? Rachel right here. Hi, Rachel. I don't have your drop. Come to my channel. I'll get your drop for you. But I'm hoping the action is closer to Winter Soldier. Well, they are behind the camera, so
Yeah.
I would imagine. So, I mean,
It
Granted,
seems like they have their
they
hands.
didn't direct Extraction, but the action was on that was pretty good. But-
So they have their hands like fully in this. This is the first one that they are director, writer, and producer credits. So because it says they directed it, Joe Russo wrote it, and they are both producers on it. Whereas Winter Soldier, they were just director. So this is pretty much all of them. It sounds like.
Right. Yeah, those
Right.
other two, Marcus and McFeely, I think wrote all the Captain America ones.
Yeah.
And the two Avengers movies they did. So
Yeah. This is their only. Oh, okay. Well, they did something in 1997 called Pieces, but other than that, this is the first where they
yeah, it's all.
wiped the board. All
And
of
this
them.
could not have come at a better time for Netflix, who is in the news and spotlight for not the best reasons right now. Given they've lost subscribers, I mean, they're still right now at this moment. They're, in my opinion, they're still king. I mean, that Adam Sandler movie Hustle, wow, that was so good.
Oh yeah.
And now with this movie, The Gray Man, their summer blockbuster in a sense, movie.
I would say it's a pretty big deal.
Well, and they
And I
got
wonder.
they got
Go ahead.
the Chris Hemsworth. What Chris Hemsworth and they got a big Chris Hemsworth movie.
Spiderhead.
Yeah.
That's a Netflix release, right?
I think it is. Yeah. So that looks
There it
cool.
is. You know what? I would like for The Gray Man to get a limited theatrical release. Do that. I know Netflix wants to get
It is. It says
it is.
in select theaters July 15th and on Netflix July 22nd.
See, I'm a believer that all streaming services and the movies that are made for streaming should have a limited theatrical release. So those who really want to go and watch it and are vocal about it on Twitter can go and watch it.
Yeah, right.
I would much rather see this in a theater.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have.
I mean, like,
it's funny you say that because I was thinking about literally this is sort of around this time Armor of the Dead came out last year, and
yeah,
I was thinking back on. I was like, I need to watch that again, and I was just, literally, I was just thinking about this today. I was like, I kind of wish I would have watched that in the theater. It was just really long. I was like, I don't have time to do that necessarily, but I really enjoyed that, and so I probably going back, I probably would have gone to watch that in theater. I know you did, Gio, right? Didn't you go see it in theater?
Did I watch Army of the Dead in theaters?
Which time, Keith? Which time?
What a silly question, my
should have asked. Hey, I should have asked how many times did you watch?
Yeah.
Who directed that, by the way?
I like that movie. I enjoyed that. I want to watch it.
Patty Jenkins, I believe.
Snack Snyder.
I'm excited because this cast is pretty big too.
I mean, it's right now in Hollywood, like it's the big three, right? I mean, it's a stacked cast. Ryan Gosling, Chris Evans, Anna de Armas, Jessica Henwick. Is his first name pronounced Reggie Jean Page? I'm sorry if I butchered it.
Yeah.
Alfre Woodard, Billy Bob Thornton.
Ooh, I missed
it's pretty decent.
Billy Bob.
Interesting. Alfre Woodard was in she's in Civil War. So
and Jessica Henwick is in Glass Onion.
Oh, is she?
Yeah,
that's cool. Okay.
The newly announced Knives Out. Title.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great title.
So it's pretty decent cast that I'm excited to see. I mean,
yeah, right.
My budget was $200 million, and so
ooh, wow.
I mean, I think if they could even make a little kick in the pants with theater before just streaming, that
make some of that help. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, so, and on that point, one more thing I'll mention about that, Keith, we talk about the mid-budget action movies. Where are those? We obviously have the John Wicks, the Atomic Blonde, the Bullet Train movie that gets advertised on the NBA Finals.
Oh my God, every commercial.
Yeah.
Wow.
It doesn't even come out till August.
Dial it back a little bit.
Right.
But I get it. They're putting in, the wide audience. It's, from a marketing standpoint, I get it, but dial it back a little bit.
Yeah.
But if this is a hit, not just on streaming, but it makes an impressive amount of money given a limited release, it's only more good news for the middle budget action flicks, that Bruce Willis used to star in, and the Stallone, Schwarzeneggers, and whatnot. So fingers crossed. People in the chat, how are you feeling about The Gray Man? A lot of you are impressed by the cast. How you feeling about Russo brothers coming off of Cherry? What do you think? I want to play one more thing real quick before we move on. If this movie doesn't work, does it increase the chances of the Russo brothers going back to Marvel quicker just to get another hit?
Well, they already have Extraction after this. Extraction 2.
But they're not directing, right? They're
writing and producing it.
That's this year too, right? That's coming up, right? Isn't that this year?
I think it's next year.
No, next year.
Okay.
So from a directorial standpoint,
I think they're already on the docket. They're just being hidden.
They're gonna come back and do Secret Wars.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Okay.
Yeah, I would.
Well, actually, that's a very good segue into our main topic tonight. We're talking about an event movie that was just recently reported by major trades. Marvel obviously doesn't announce these things, but if you've been following and paying attention to the MCU, you knew this was coming. You could see it a mile away.
Yeah.
And that
it's as obvious as the Young Avengers coming.
Right. I'm waiting for that announcement. But Thunderbolts, the movie is in development. Probably has been in development for some time now, but they like to keep a hush on things until they're further along. But this movie is happening. Now, I'm not the most knowledgeable when it comes to this, so I'm going to pass this next couple of minutes off to Mr. Brian Avellino. Please inform us more about the Thunderbolts, the background, the roster, the characters. What do you got for us?
Okay, so Thunderbolts is essentially an anti-hero team. I know a lot of people are saying villains. It's not just villains. It'd be a solid mix of villains and anti-heroes. This is Marvel's version of the Suicide Squad without killing people as willy-nilly. DC does a good job of making their characters for Suicide Squad able to die. I would not. It would be more of a big deal if a Thunderbolt probably character died in this. It's a team-up team that essentially would get sent off on a mission. There's so many iterations of it. The first one being led by Zemo, who turns out to be, it's basically like a whole Hydra shield situation with the Masters of Evil. You have at one point Norman Osborn being in charge of them. Obviously, he's not doing it for the best of reasons. He's doing it for his own nefarious reasons. You have, I'm trying to think what some of the other ones. At some point, they work basically for Hammer Industries, Justin Hammer, which, I mean, that could be something going forward, maybe, because we know he's coming back for Armor Wars. But yeah, it's essentially just a team of anti-heroes that get tasked in some capacity to go on a mission and complete a job. I mean, during I don't want to say too much, but during at one point when they were working for Norman Osborn, the Avengers and Fantastic Four were out of capacity. So that's why they took the charge, because they were like, okay, well, screw it. We're going to be the good guys and make everyone think that we're here to do these good things, but really we're going to use it as a means to get what we want. So yeah, it's essentially a group of people with not the best societal interests in mind. A lot of out for their own good. And we have been introduced to a handful of them already that have been in the comic books. There have been a lot that there have not been introduced character-wise, that I think there's still a good amount of time before this movie comes out that you will probably see one or two more added to the list. But yeah, a little quick rewind. Yes, and sum it up quickly, Suicide Squad version Marvel, less killing them. They're not as expendable as the lesser named characters that show up in DC's version, essentially. You don't expect, I would be flabbergasted if they put characters out there and just start picking them off. Doesn't seem to be Marvel's MO. As DC, you can get away with more of the darker stuff like that. You're not going to get an opening to the Suicide Squad in Thunderbolts. At least I would be shocked if they did.
Did they? Not to be. I don't know. So maybe, but was it Justin Hammer, or was it because Norman Osborn had an organization called Hammer that he formed after?
It's a mix of, but like it was Osborn using Hammer.
There's an acronym for something like they all are, but I didn't know.
The acronym for Hammer?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just his technology business. It's essentially like Stark Industries type situation. Yeah. But yeah, I would assume if they would use Hammer, I would assume it would be along the lines of like, hey, we need these guys like stocked up on crap. Like, can you he's not going to go out there and like fight for them. Although it would be kind of funny if like he made a suit and they threw him out there. And they ended up having to just protect his butt the whole time. But Andy, you hit a pretty, it's basically a redemption chance for minor villains. And it's not just villains sometimes. Like at points in the comics, Hawkeye is leading them. Yeah. So like it's not just villains. Like it's a good mix.
Oh, I would love for Ronan to lead them. That'd be badass.
I mean, you could use Hawkeye to lead. He's kind of like
he burned that suit.
Yeah, that's
which I was like, why are you burning that?
You can make another one.
Of course.
Tony Stark at the end of Iron Man 3 threw his reactor in the ocean and blew up all of his suits. Yeah, and next thing you know,
immediately had another one. Yeah.
Yeah.
He now has technology where he can pull a suit out of his watch,
he can step out of the suit and it can operate on its own.
Or literally pull his strings and go boom, boom.
Right.
Yeah. Such a badass moment. God, I'll never get over that. Thanks, Brian, for breaking that down for us. Definitely made it a little bit, gave more context and, just the basic understanding, which is really all you need for at least general audiences going into this movie, the basics and whatnot. Marvel has been known to go away from the comics, for better or worse. So Brian, thank you again. Is the movie, in your mind, a good idea? Is it the right time in the MCU right now? Like, given where this universe is heading, it feels like a time of transition where some of the established / now veteran characters of the MCU are still doing their thing, but you can see a transition happening.
So I think what works into their favor of this is, like I said, there is a point in one iteration of the Thunderbolts, I don't want to spoil it, where there are no Avengers or Fantastic Four. And this is when someone tries to create like this new people, like, look at these reformed bad doers. Now we've made them so good and they're doing good things for us. There are no Avengers kind of working together right now in the MCU.
There's no one there to check them.
Exactly. So I mean, yes, I'll say it's probably smart to do it now because it really doesn't make sense to do it if you're going to have the Young Avengers running around, if you're going to have what I would assume to become like the new Avengers at some point. or even Midnight Sun. Like, I mean, granted, they're probably going to end up being more supernatural, but there's going to eventually be teams coming. Right now, there's a gap of nothing really happening. You don't have Iron Man. You don't have Black Widow. Captain America is still kind of transitioning into Sam Wilson.
Thor is
off planet. Captain Marvel's off planet. The Guardians are off planet. Who else is there?
Yeah, Spider-Man there.
Spider-Man's kind of basically just your neighborhood Spider-Man. Yeah, Hulk is, who knows what Hulk's doing. So yeah, you don't really have a set group of heroes right now, so it makes sense to put them in there. And to what I was going to get with what Andy is saying, that's the whole purpose, I believe, of Val right now, is to do this. She is essentially this head, I would assume, that is forming this group. If you don't remember who she is, she showed up at the end of Black Widow to recruit Yelena. Yeah. She was at the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, to recruit U.S. Agent. So yeah, I would assume that this has been set up. It makes sense because there is a lull in team superheroes, villains, whatever you want to call it, to save the day. So it makes sense that they would use them right now, because once you build these teams back up, they would have to be some super secret team that the heroes wouldn't know about, or in the case of like Hawkeye's leading them type situation. So yeah, it's the right time for it, I would say.
Keith?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, see, that's the thing. Do we know when? Do we have a time frame? I don't know. Clearly, it would be.
I would assume it would be phase 5, early phase 5, maybe. If I'm guessing, if I had to shoot it, 2025.
Right. Maybe. Yeah. So still might be kind of a while. Not.
Yeah.
Soon,
and that's why.
But, yeah.
That's why I think you're going to get new heroes or villains, I should say, anti-heroes that like are not even introduced yet on those teams.
Well, I was hearing that John Walker, as people have mentioned, U.S. Agent, which he will eventually be, Ghost, which Gordon mentioned in our comment here. Oh no, comment went away. I lost it. Shoot, it went back. Oh, here we go. Okay, Ghost. I heard could be one of these. Winter Soldier, or Bucky himself. Someone else mentioned it. Brian mentioned that. Brian was Taskmaster as well. Would be one. Who else? Somebody else in here.
Well, did you guys make your list of 6? Who do you think?
That's kind of. I was kind of. Yeah, that's why I was
alluding.
Off.
Well, I have a wish list, but I mean, I'm just gonna keep it to who is currently in the MCU
who we've
right
seen.
now.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Because like, I don't know about you, but okay, so it's a plus. It's a benefit and a negative. All right, so positive and negative. The MCU is expanding a lot with Disney Plus and whatnot. You can only fit these characters into so many projects, but at the same time, we can't go 4 years without seeing someone like U.S. Agent, Like, I want to see him again as soon as possible. By the way, Gordon Post, I saw your comment earlier. I hope it is John Walker if someone has to die. You mean like Lamar Hoskins? You mean like Lamar Hoskins, Battlestar? Why do people forget about that? His buddy died. Like, anyways, so like, I would imagine we're gonna see some of these potential characters who are gonna make up the Thunderbolts before the Thunderbolts movie. I'm thinking about, Secret Invasion, possibly Armor Wars. I could see Zemo having a hand in that, or even the Power
Broker.
Power Broker.
Yep.
too.
Agent 13.
Yeah, Keith, we'll continue with your predictions in a moment. Do I think the movie is a good idea? Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea. I think if the last 20 years of comic movies have taught us anything, it's that, fans don't always know what they want until they're given it. So anybody who's against this, first off, you haven't been paying attention, but second, you just don't be so reactionary. And Brian, I didn't even think about it until you mentioned it. Like, where are the Avengers? Who is the suit of armor around the world? And everyone's kind of busy doing their own thing, and so there is a vacancy, and Val recognizes that, and hence why she's pulling, and forming her own squad called Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
So yeah, but let's get into our predictions. Keith, you're on a kind of a roll there. 6 characters of your Thunderbolts roster. Who you got?
Like I said, those are people that we've seen already. And so, like I said, Zemo, because like I said, he's the original Thunderbolts. He was the one that created them.
Yeah.
That formed that team. Taskmaster, new Taskmaster, the character Ghost, we saw in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Gio, you just mentioned Power Broker / Agent 13, who was Sharon. No, Carter.
Yeah.
What was her name?
Sharon
Carter.
Carter.
Sharon Carter. Okay. U.S. agent, and I think I call her New Black Widow.
Yelena.
Yeah, Yelena. Yeah, I forgot her last name.
Belova.
Belova. Yeah, Belova. Yeah, I think that we've seen her directly. Obviously, Zemo, Power Broker, U.S. agent, Black Widow. She's talked to she's had contact with all those. We know Ghost is out there. I think Lawrence Fishburne just kind of took her away, and we don't really know what happened to her. That's what mentioned in the chat. Like, we didn't see exactly what happened to her, but there's somebody that's familiar with her. Although they did cure her, so I don't know, or at least they taught her. Did they cure her? Did they fix her, or did
They use the stuff from the quantum realm to essentially just like hold,
so she could control it or something like that?
Yeah.
Right? So it wasn't so painful or something like that. I can't remember what it was. I can't remember if they actually cured.
Because she was gonna like disappear.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. So I think maybe that's what it was. So if she still has those powers, obviously that would be something that somebody would find useful.
Yeah.
It's been like
as the movie came out 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then like I said, Taskmaster, who again just kind of went off with the Black Widow family, or we don't know. No, she went off with the not the family. She went off with the unbrainwashed Black Widow ladies that they gave the serum to
which I need a Disney Plus
series. I want to know what's going on there. Yeah, right, man. Because
please,
that's a team of killers, not killers, but you know what I mean. Like, those are some tough. It's a tough team. Like, that's a tough group of ladies. That would be a cool team to watch. Just all some cool Black Widows all going around the world trying to rescue all the other ones that are still brainwashed. But Taskmaster, I mean, surely she would want to get a hold of that, because I guess I spoiled that, but saying she is a formidable weapon, I guess, if you will. So those would be my 6: Zemo, Taskmaster, Ghost, Power Broker, U.S. agent, and New Black Widow.
Fair.
Yeah.
Brian, go ahead. Sound off.
So, I mean, like Keith said, I kind of stuck to what people are currently around. I do believe that you will have at least 1 or 2 that haven't even been brought into the MCU yet. So I agree with Keith, Baron Zemo, Yelena. Also, I mean, it makes sense. She was approached by Val. U.S. agent, also approached by Val. So, I mean, you have almost guarantees between U.S. agent and Yelena.
And Abomination, I would say.
Yeah, that was my next one. Was Abomination.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. It seems very obvious because he's appeared twice now. He was in Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
And he was in, what am I forgetting? Spider-Man?
He's coming up in She-Hulk.
She-Hulk, yes.
Yeah.
She-Hulk, thank you. So, yeah, you've got twice now. I have a feeling he'll get out in She-Hulk, and then she'll, like, approach him at some point. I think Taskmaster is probably high up there. I think it would be kind of weird unless they at some point like show us how, because she seems to be with the Black Widows right now, the remaining ones. So like for her to just all of a sudden appear with them would be a little bit weird, but comic book wise would make sense to have Taskmaster. However they go about it, I mean, I hope they do it better than they did in Black Widow.
I wonder if, well, as long as she still has that skill of, and we didn't know if it was the skill of being able to copy.
It's opponent. Like, yeah, I mean, we know,
I don't know if it was the helmet she had on, or
it almost seemed like it was like
a
chip, like where it was downloaded. So I'm hoping that chip was just like a projection of like what,
sure. Yeah.
The fight's not her learning it through that way.
Yeah.
And then I went for a wide swing on mine. I thought, why not? The character that Tony Dalton plays in Hawkeye, Swordsman, he has appeared in a good handful of Thunderbolt stuff. I think maybe he might be the like good guy, if you will, like of the team, your token good guy, that doesn't really have like the questionable morals, if you will, because like, I mean, he hasn't done anything. I mean, he was thought to be like the guy pulling the strings in Hawkeye. So like, I mean, it might make sense to have at least one not bad person. So I'll go with him on that, more of like a hand-to-hand combat type stuff. I think he would be an interesting pick. There is a good amount of people that, I mean, are up for grabs. I'll wait to say after. I'll let you do it. I mean,
so did you give your 6?
Yeah. So mine were Zemo, Yelena, U.S. Agent, Abomination, Taskmaster, and Swordsman.
Really quick. I forgot. Well, I mentioned it earlier, and then it reminded me because I scrolled back because Rachel said this, and then Gordon said this because I mentioned Winter Soldier. U.S. Agent or Winter Soldier is what I meant. Like either like one of those two. I went with U.S. Agent because she actually talked to him. But this though is exactly why. Yeah, but that's why they would put him on the team.
I think
that conflict between those two, like that would be a interesting dynamic.
Wait a minute.
If you're putting him in there, he's being the team leader. He's Rick Flag essentially.
Bucky.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can see that.
If you have Winter Soldier in there, he's going to be the Rick Flag of this group.
Because he definitely wouldn't. And Rachel's right. He definitely wouldn't want to. But there'd be something where he would either feel like he had to, or like because he's still doing his redemption tour. Thing where he's going around. So he still feels like he needs to make up for all the stuff he's done. So I could see it. They create a reason for him to be there. Deal.
All right. Well, hold on. I'm trying to find Brian's.
I got it. I just started it.
You did? Okay.
Yeah,
we'll get to yours, Brian. Go
sorry.
ahead.
Here.
We can go right now. Go ahead.
Stain, Elektra, Ghost, Bucky, Abomination and Taskmaster.
Elektra.
He wants to see.
Yeah.
I mean, she could be coming back with Daredevil.
If it's Elodie Young, that would be cool. I don't see her as much of a team player, but that'd be interesting. That's why
I believe Obadiah Stane is dead, but he does have a son in the comics, so you
Yeah.
could get that.
Yeah.
All right. So
Gio.
here are my 6. The first 3 I'm going to go with are I think locks. U.S. Agent, Yelena, and Abomination. Now the next 3 are sort of a wish list. Yeah, that's why we're doing this. Somebody mentioned it earlier in the chat, but I would love to see Agatha a part of this team. I think it would be cool to have
interesting.
Have a somebody who knows magic. What do they call her magic? It's not chaos, is it?
She's just, I think, dark magic, essentially.
Dark magic. Yeah. You need that. We don't know what's happening with Scarlet Witch. And if you think about it, like what WandaVision did for the Agatha character, I thought was more effective today than I initially thought. You think about her backstory in that one episode where she was basically, she felt betrayed by her sisters and they tried to take her power. She knew what the Scarlet Witch would become and what kind of threat she would pose. And we as the general audience know that now, having seen Multiverse of Madness. So in a sense, you could say Agatha was right. The next one largely depends on an upcoming movie and how this plays out in the MCU. But however they handle Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, I would love to see Killmonger a part of this team. He would definitely be a weapon out there on the field. He has tactical skills. He can obviously, use his power-up suit. I think he was the Golden Jaguar in the first Black Panther movie. I'd love to see him back there in that armor. Again, it's a wish list. But the final person, and I didn't think about this until about 10 minutes ago, I'd love to see Bullseye part of the team.
That was on my list.
Daredevil season 3. Bullseye is just...
That guy's crazy.
Insane.
It's
crazy.
Perfect.
But I just imagine him fighting alongside U.S. Agent and Yelena and just... Man, that would be a real treat. They got to bring him back.
Yeah.
A little worried based from how Kingpin was treated in Hawkeye. But for a project like this, Thunderbolts, I think he'd be better handled. So my 6 are U.S. Agent, Yelena, Abomination, Agatha, Killmonger, and Bullseye. And Jake, I need to see a graphic of our 3 Thunderbolt rosters and have the people in the community vote or something. That'd be fun.
There's a good amount of...
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, there's a good amount of characters that are still for grabs that we didn't even name, I think.
Yeah, so let's spend some time on that. We talked about, is it a right time to do a movie like Thunderbolts in the MCU? We predicted our roster of 6 characters who make up the Thunderbolts. Who'd we miss? Who would be some cool candidates? You in the chat, let us know as well. Rachel says Darcy and Jimmy Woo to be the herd in this crowd. They could be something like what I imagine,
like the Oracle.
Yeah, or something like Economos and God, what's her name? God damn it,
Amanda Waller.
Peacemaker. No, the James Gunn's girl, Jennifer Holland. What's her name?
Oh, I forgot her name, but
Harcourt. Yeah, be like Economos and Harcourt, just there, But who do we miss, guys?
So there's, the one glaring unfortunate would be Red Hulk. With Thaddeus Ross being the person that, I mean, Thunderbolt Ross would have been a perfect leader for it.
Yeah, William Hurt.
William Hurt. So
Well, on that though, because I was thinking about that, because people, there's a lot of people think that he created Thunderbolts, which he did not. But I was going to say they would either recast, or someone mentioned they could just say he passed away, because he did mention that he had a heart attack in Civil War. That's why he ran for office.
So now let me ask, do you think we could get away at this point with a recast of that character and people would actually care?
I was going to say you could get the one from the Eric Bana Hulk. I don't know who that actor was.
Sam Elliott?
Was it Sam Elliott?
Yeah.
I don't even remember that. Oh, it was Sam Elliott, wasn't it? Yeah.
Well, he hates Marvel stuff, so he's probably not going to do it. Didn't he come out and say, like, it's not a movie? Like, he went on the whole thing.
Did he?
Pretty sure he did.
Sam Elliott? Wow. Yeah, I mean, sounds about it. He was in Ghost Rider.
I don't know. I could be thinking of someone else.
He's in Ghost Rider and in the Hulk.
I mean, he looks pretty close to it.
Right.
So it would make sense. It would be a good grab.
Or they just get somebody else to be Red Hulk.
I'll take Edward Norton. Not Edward Norton. Ed Harris, too. That'd be fun.
Ed Norton would be cool if they bring in, for some reason, that Ed Norton.
But to answer your question, Keith, I think the diehard fans like us and the people watching and watch this kind of stuff will probably notice, but general audiences, they'll be like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
old man
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I think as long as you nail the mustache, you might be able to get away with it. So I made a list of who, just off the top of my head, could be potentials that you could see pop up. Red Guardian.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what else is he doing right now?
What? And there was a report that Red Guardian and Rachel Weisz's character, Kevin Feige, has plans for them.
Oh, okay. I believe it.
Sure.
Who else did I have? Punisher. I'm gonna throw Punisher back out there. I'm not gonna complain. You might want to I feel like he would need a soft reintroduce before you throw him right back in there.
No, you did that with Kingpin. Don't do that.
Okay, I'll come back to Kingpin. This one, I feel like you would have to put something out before you put it.
Thank you, Gordon.
But Deadpool.
That'd be fun, yeah.
Sure.
Gio, there's a run in the comics where they essentially they kind of govern themselves, and they each take turns accomplishing a mission, and Deadpool's mission is to, I believe it's kill Ryan Reynolds in the comics.
Okay.
I think it's either kill him or kidnap him or something. But yeah, Deadpool, you hit mine with Bullseye. I thought that. If you want
to see Bullseye.
Yeah, me too. If you want to reintroduce Luke Cage, maybe you bring him back through this. And then I don't see this happening, but if you wanted to, maybe you can grab Whiplash again. But it's so far removed that I would see that not happening. Now, here's the other thing. I think it would be very interesting. There always seems to be kind of an overarching person that's funding them and whatnot. I mean, Val is clearly someone of importance, so 99% of it is probably going to be her. She's probably going to be the main player. However, maybe she could be the person, the Amanda Waller, if you will, but is getting funds and it's being kind of secretly run by, you could have either Kingpin running it, giving the money, obviously, Wilson Fisk. You could go the Norman Osborn route. It would be kind of shocking. But again, it gets mucky with Spider-Man and Sony.
Yeah.
And then have Justin Hammer be the person that's doing it from the side.
That's what I think it is. Because I think she's clearly working for somebody.
And we know Armor Wars is coming.
Yes.
So like he's gonna come back in some capacity. What we don't know. I think if Wilson Fisk was back in it more already, like it would have made sense. But where it kind of left off, I don't see it being him in charge.
He's dead, right?
Well, no, they ain't gonna kill him.
You didn't see him. He's definitely not dead.
Yeah, it's the WandaVision, or not WandaVision. It's the Scarlet Witch.
It's everything. It's all.
You didn't see the body.
Oh, what about Sylvie from Loki?
They're doing Loki 2 right now. I think she's caught with that.
The Loki stuff is weird. Yeah, we got to see what's happening.
They're in their own world.
It'd be fun to see her.
Sure.
Oh, absolutely. Rachel, that's not bad either. Grabbing someone from Shang-Chi's sister's organization or something. Razor Fist. Yeah. Razor Fist. That's a solid call too.
She's still running the 10 rings.
Yeah.
That's still a thing.
Razor Fist could be out there. I mean, that's someone. I mean, they were going to kill him off in Shang-Chi. So it's like if they were to kill someone off, it's not the biggest loss in the world. Razor Fist is a decent one. That's a good call.
First one I thought immediately was Vision. White Vision. White Vision's out there.
He's just too. I thought that too, but he's too OP. Like,
who's not?
Who's going to stop him?
Well, who would stop Red Hulk?
Well, he doesn't have the Mind Stone anymore, right? So
yeah, no, yeah, he doesn't have that. He's
Abomination could stop him, but
another one that I thought of that hasn't been introduced that we know is coming is Titania from Red Hulk or from She-Hulk.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna get. I guarantee you'll have probably at least one or two that are gonna be a part of this that have not even came yet.
Sure.
Guarantee it.
Probably.
I don't see it being a huge, maybe 5 to 7 people. It's not gonna because you're not gonna pull an Avengers level for this. Well, I mean, I guess you could. It'll be more along a Civil War type.
Yeah. This is somebody that the Avengers, the new Avengers or the X-Men can fight. Well, Avengers. It'll be Avengers. Whoever the new. So if there's a new Black Panther and Captain Marvel and Rhodey and Hawkeye and whoever else can fight these people, if it comes to that.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I'm very curious to see what Jake's 6 are.
Yeah. I like the Killmonger call. That's a good. I like that. This would be perfect for a Killmonger. If you're gonna put him on a team, obviously it would be an alternate version of him. But I'm actually thinking, and we'll find out in Wakanda Forever. But I'm not ruling out him being a new Black Panther and some form of him being a new Black Panther.
Killmonger?
Yeah.
I still think it's M'Baku.
Maybe, yeah. So,
but
that'd be a good call, though. I'd love to see him on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys want to know some of what they're doing in Wakanda?
No.
I don't want anything about it. Zero.
Nothing.
No. If you want to find
I already know Namor. That's enough.
Oh, yeah, I knew about Namor,
yeah.
That's confirmed, right? They confirmed that, right?
It's already starting to leak and everything.
Yeah. I like Deadpool being involved in this movie in some capacity.
He'd be good for a sequel.
I could see him like I don't know.
That's
like what?
That's more likely though. Yeah, putting him as like an X-Force.
I think they're still going to do X-Force.
Yeah.
Didn't they try X-Force and Deadpool?
Yeah, he killed them all.
He was forming. Yeah. Well, he still had Domino, and he had Cable was there.
I would love to see Domino in the MCU.
Me too, man.
Yeah.
I thought she was great. I love that.
That'd be nice.
She's cool.
Yeah.
But I could picture a scenario where the Thunderbolts are in a corner and Deadpool just comes in and Luke Skywalker's, the bad guys and whatnot, and they end up fighting out. And I don't know. There's a lot of potential for Thunderbolts, movie.
There is. I'm
And
excited for it.
I hope you guys enjoyed this discussion on Thunderbolts and this week's Apocaflix Now, where we talked about the Predator prequel, Prey. Check out our discussion if you haven't seen it yet, if you're watching on playback.
Thank you. Rachel.
The Gray Man trailer, Russo Brothers' next big action movie. And of course, the MCU's Thunderbolts. Give us your guys' theories, your picks, your roster, who you want to see, your dream team, so to speak. Some people in the chat did share theirs, and we appreciate that so very much. And before we go, let's do some plugs. Let's start with Mr. Brian Avalosino. Brian, where can people find you? I'll click your thing.
Oh, you got it. All right.
Okay.
You can find me on A Certain Point of View with Jake. We do some Schmodown reviews and stuff, movie trivia and all that jazz. And then mostly you can find me if I'm not on Now or Certain Point of View. We got the Fandalorian, the Fandalorian Club
Correct.
for Obi-Wan. And then we also have the Marvel Rewind because Miss Marvel is going right now. So, yeah, I believe we are planning on Miss Marvel tomorrow and Thursday being Fandalorian. Check Twitter. But I believe that's the plan.
Yes, I think so. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Keith Barnes, where can they find you?
Ms. Marvel is fantastic.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to talk about it, but that show is wonderful. I bloody loved it. You can find me on Twitter, Keith Barnes 79. Obviously here on Apocaflix movies on various things. Obviously every Tuesday, 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on Now. You can find me hanging out with my buddy Gio every now and then. We'll catch me on Fandom United, talking about some cool stuff. Talk about some rumors, me avoiding rumors. And of course, you can find me with my buddy Jacob Bartley and Barnes. We are on a little hiatus right now. Go back, watch our old stuff. We'll be back. We'll be back soon.
Oh, yeah, you guys will definitely be back soon. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to that.
Yes.
And you guys can find me on Twitter at Fandom United 21. Of course, on this channel, Apocaflix Now, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. On Fandalorian Club on Thursdays at 4 p.m. Pacific time. And my channel, Fandom United, where I talk about some things that interest me in the movie world. Lots of DC talk. Speaking of DC, Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. I love it. I can't. I'm going to talk about that.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear you talk about if you like that it's going to be a musical or not.
Oh, man.
Don't say anything. Save it for yours. I want to see it on yours.
All right. Well, thanks again for everyone in the chat joining us. Andy, Rachel.
Absolutely.
Gordon, Curtis, Karen.
RD Films.
I thought Star Drew. Gordon, Rachel, Brian, Rachel, Star Drew, Rachel. Thank you guys.
Karen, everyone.
So much. And until next week, you guys take care.
See ya.